sustainable infrastructure is really, you can break it down into energy efficiency at wastewater treatment facilities, and water efficiency at those facilities, and also with residential communities, water recycling efforts, and also renewable energy development within the water sector. So all those elements come together, and when you look at the embedded energy in water, meaning that it takes energy to get water anywhere. To move water takes energy. To draw water from the ground or from a river into a treatment facility takes energy. To treat that water at a drinking water treatment facility takes energy. To get it out to people's homes takes energy. Get it to wastewater treatment plant after people use it takes energy. To treat it takes energy, and to dispose of it takes energy. And there's also a whole lot of energy that goes into just getting water into a drinking water treatment plant. So there's energy involved everywhere, and of course wherever there's energy used, energy has to be produced somewhere. And of course power plants are pretty heavy greenhouse gas emitters. They use a lot of energy to get energy. And so that's, it all gets connected that way. And when you look at water, on the other side of and not just reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but on adaptation aspects, which means how as a society can we alter the way we live or adjust the way we operate to account for global warming, meaning like sea level rise, changing weather patterns, changing snowpacks. You know, water is an integral part of all that. So it's really hard to separate out, in my mind, the energy in water. So the water programs, we wanted to push more into the mainstream climate change programs that really work towards greenhouse gas emission reductions through energy efficiency, renewable energy production. And of course, water and wastewater treatment facilities have a lot of space, and they have a lot of opportunities for solar. And also within wastewater, it's very common for the facility to have what's called an anaerobic digester, which is basically a sealed off tank that's heated, where some of the wastewater goes into, and as it's being digested, it produces methane gas, because it's an anaerobic environment, so it produces methane. That methane is cleaned and collected and then cleaned, and can be used to produce electricity, or to be used directly for heating within a facility. So basically put that methane into an engine, run that engine, and as the engine operates, you save the electricity. You use the electricity that comes off of that engine. So it's a nice loop. There's a lot of loops within the water and energy area that we try to address. We have our Water Sense program as one of our programs that we have, which focuses on becoming the energy star of the water sector, if that helps to relate that. What it does is, one part of the program is creating certifications for toilets and shower heads and faucets that basically get third-party testing, so a consumer can buy a toilet and know that it uses 20% less water than whatever is out there in the industry, and perform the equivalent function. And the same for shower heads, and the same for water faucets. They're also branching into landscaping they certify landscape professionals to put in water efficient garden and landscaping. And they're also now recently certifying homes for Water Sense labeled homes for that basically document that there are water savings that are real, and that someone can buy that house and know that they're doing something sustainable for the world.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of effort that's gone into that, and I think the main area we try to push, especially with people who aren't thinking about it, is in the schools and whatnot, people that have their whole lives ahead of them to adjust, is saving water saves energy. Gray water, you can look at, the way I look at it, at least, is you reuse water within a local area that hasn't been in contact with, what's called black water, with a toilet or sewage or anything that's unsanitary that way. So you talk about shower water and dishwasher water and washing machines, clothes washer water that can be basically piped out instead of being piped into a sewer where it goes. Typically, it can be put into your yard. Gray water is a type of recycled water because, I mean, recycled water, of course, is any kind of reuse. But when you talk to most people in the water sector, when you're talking about recycled water, you're talking about water that's been collected in a treatment system, in a collection system. And so, you know, there's distribution systems get the water out from drinking water so people can keep it safe and microbe-free, pathogen-free before people drink it. After people use it, it goes back into a collection system to a wastewater treatment facility of some sort. Or in most places for the largest part of our population, that's true. There's exceptions, but it's not critical. So recycled water is, with the wastewater treatment facility, there's, in very rudimentary terms, there's primary treatment, which separates out solids. There's secondary treatment, which uses biological action to further treat the water. So basically bacteria gets in there and helps us treat our wastewater, so we'll be able to either dispose of it safely or pass it on to another type of treatment called tertiary treatment, which the point of tertiary treatment is a higher treatment, and that's where regulated. That's what Title 22 regulates in California, is what level of water, what level of treatment goes into that water before it's reused for a certain purpose. People think of, and recycled water, I should add, recycled water takes more energy to use. To produce recycled water means more treatment, which means more energy use. And desalination from the ocean, you're talking about 30 plus thousand parts per million of salt in the water. And what EPA protects through our Safe Drinking Water Act, the Underground Injection Control Program, is all aquifers that are 10,000 parts per million salts or below. So that's, you know, less than a third of the salinity of seawater. So the one reason for that, and what might be happening in the future, is people drawing slightly brackish water that's, you know, not that we would drink out of a cup, but that has a third of the salt that seawater has. So you produce that water at much less energy costs than seawater. And also, you can be in an arid area to use that water. So that you could be out in a desert and tap in to an aquifer that you can go through desalination process and use that water. And they're often found there's brackish water all throughout the world. So it's a way to, you know, and that's something else that people don't typically think about. People think of desalination, they think of being on the coast, which is where it typically is, but there's also inland potential for inland desalination. We look at possible $300 to $700 billion shortfall throughout our country on the status of water infrastructure. So basically, a lot of the infrastructure that we've built, we haven't maintained. People don't pay for what water costs, and is standard throughout the country, and it's a hidden infrastructure. People don't realize it's there. People turn on their tap and the water's there. They don't realize the maintenance that's needed into putting into those pipelines. So some facilities are 30, 40, 50, some are even 100 years old in our country. So pipes are breaking, and pipes need to be replaced, and someone needs to pay for that, and that's where that shortfall comes from. And water agencies are really challenged to maintain their operations with existing water rates and prepare for the future infrastructure issues. Replace pipelines when they need to be replaced. So that's something I think over time that the EPA believes in full cost pricing. People should pay what their water costs, so the water can be not only safe to drink, but safely treated before it's put back into the environment. And that's a real critical thing. People have gotten very used to turning on their tap and flushing the toilet and not worrying about anything else in between, and that's something that we hope will change in the average American's psyche over time.